I don't know if you've been hanging around the rumor mill, but if you have and you've heard the rumor that a cruise line has done away with pre-cruise testing, that rumor is true. For the first time, an American cruise line says no more pre-cruise COVID test. Just show up and get on board and we will cruise. Let's talk about this big news and how it will affect the overall cruise industry right now on Island Time. A big happy Friday to all you Islanders. It is a great Friday as today Amanda and I and our two boys are going to load up the car after work and we are headed to Galveston, Texas. It's finally cruise week. It's hard to believe that I'm even saying this, but in 24 hours from now, less than 24 hours, we will be boarding the beautiful Carnival, Vista, and we cannot wait to take you with us. Make sure, Islanders, make sure if you're watching this and you're not subscribed that you smash that subscribe button and that you ring that bell for notifications. We will be going live all day tomorrow on Embarkation Day and all week on the Carnival Vista. Be sure you follow us. I have to mention this too. We knew this was coming and the time is here. The Carnival sensation. It looks like she's about to leave Miami, Florida for her last time and head to the scrapyard. You may remember about 4 or 5 weeks ago, we were in contact with someone who was on board the Carnival Sensation and we worked on a very special project to get the last set of pictures and images from the ship. We have created a video. I will put the link to that video in the description of this video so that you can see really the last set of pictures of venues and places to eat and drink and lounges that we know of. Okay, be sure you check that out. We love the Carnival Sensation. She's lived a great life. She's entertained a lot of us for 29 years. And now she's going to head to Turkey to be breached. Let's talk about this big news. I've received so many questions about this news the last couple of days, and I want to share it with you. The first cruise line to drop all pre-cruise COVID testing protocols and procedures is Uncruise Adventures. You may not have ever heard of them before, and you may think, how is this going to change the industry? Well, first let's talk about the news, and then let's talk about how it could change the industry. Uncruise Adventures is a small ship expedition cruise line who specializes in small ships and small audiences. They announced this week that they will no longer require passengers to take pre-cruise COVID testing effective March the 25th of 2022. They've also relaxed their masking protocols, although they encourage their passengers to wear masks. It is not required. Uncruise stated that the decreased COVID-19 numbers coupled with the mask mandates and protocols that have lessened across the country has made this possible, that they can end pre-cruise testing. Here's what they had to say. Safety is still of the utmost importance, and due to the close invariance of small ship cruising experience, we will continue to require all crew and guests to be fully vaccinated, including booster shots, the email said. The email also went on to say, should future evolution of the disease cause governmental and CDC requirements to increase again, Uncruise would follow suit. So there's a caveat to getting rid of this pre-cruise testing. As they shared in their email, all crew and guests must be fully vaccinated, including booster shots. That leads to an interesting discussion. A lot of you want to get rid of pre-cruise testing. Would you receive the booster shot in order to get rid of pre-cruise testing? I don't think necessarily a lot of you would, but that's what this cruise line is doing. What does this mean for cruising? First off, this is a small scale test. A small scale test. Uncruise Adventures is a drop in the bucket in the cruise industry, but the test has to start somewhere, right? Uncruise operates most of the time out of Alaska, visits to Mexico, the United States, Pacific Northwest, and Hawaii. It's a small regional cruise line. The vessels are usually around 200 feet long, and they carry less than 80 passengers. So small in scope, but really it's going to be able to provide some decent data for us very, very quick. Because of the size of this cruise line, it means that Uncruise Adventures is not eligible for the CDC's voluntary program. They are not part of the CDC's voluntary program. You have to at least be able to carry 250 passengers to be able to be part of that program. As a result of them not being part of the CDC program, they're still sanctioned and under the CDC, okay, don't get me wrong there, but they're able to come up with their own COVID-19 rules and policies, and they're able to implement them themselves and not be under the CDC voluntary program. Now, I want to remind all of us, because so many of you say, I want cruise lines to end testing. Cruise lines, please end testing. It's not necessarily cruise lines that are overseeing these tests. This is a CDC requirement, not a cruise line requirement. So the CDC is going to have to change this pre-cruise requirement. And then cruise lines, of course, can adopt that change and say no testing, or they can keep the change. It's up to them. Could we be headed for a day that the CDC will indeed get rid of this pre-cruise testing requirement? I think we're closer and closer to getting there. Look at what has happened last month and just this week. The CDC lowered the travel health notice rating for COVID-19 for cruises to a level 2. It was a level 4 just 45 days ago. Lowered to a level 3 last month, lowered to a level 2, which is moderate. Cruising is one of the only level 2 places to travel in the world. It's safe. It is. It's another step in the right direction. The CDC sees all this. The masking changes that cruise lines have made, that you don't have to wear a mask. Masks are optional almost on every cruise line in America. Unvaccinated rules. Kids under 5 don't have to have exemptions. Unvaccinated children, for the most part now, can visit local ports. Royal Caribbean, it's open to all. Carnival, you still have to book an excursion to get off. Capacity has gone up, which is huge. When you dial these knobs back and you increase capacity, you would think that those numbers would start to increase some, but they haven't so far. All of these things that I mentioned are going in the right direction, and that I think eventually, I don't know what time. Is it late summer? Is it fall? Is it 2023? The CDC will remove this pre-cruise testing procedure, but it's going to be interesting. And I had to mention on today's show that this is taking place with Uncruise Adventures, and it's going to be interesting to watch and see what happens. If it doesn't work, you know it's going to be in the media. A cruise company is letting passengers sail without being tested. You can just imagine the headlines now, right? Okay, we're going to see what happens with it. I had to mention it on today's show. I want to give you a preview of what's going to happen going forward. First off, the Phillips family have all negative tests for our cruise, leaving today, boarding tomorrow. We're going to be live all week, as I mentioned earlier in the show. We so hope that you come with us. If you have questions on check-in process, embarkation, verify, any of the COVID-19 procedures, cruising with kids, the Carnival Vista itself, we're going to Mahogany Bay, Belize, Cozumel. If you have questions on those ports, anything that you have that you want me to look at, that you want me to film, that you want me to address, drop in the comment section below. I will do everything I can to help you with your questions. All that I ask you to do is to make sure you're subscribed and like this video if you enjoyed the content. We cannot wait to share our cruising adventure with you all week as we head to Galveston and cruise on the Carnival Vista. We hope you have a great weekend. Go Hogs! I had to wear my Razorback shirt today. And I hope you guys enjoy this week ahead as we share our cruise with you. We'll talk to you later right here on Island Time.